Teen Talk, Hamari Baat.
The fourth wave wasn't organized, it erupted. People erupted. There were massive protests, marches everywhere around entire globe.
I think this fourth wave was more draining than the earlier ones.
This wave was crowd-driven. But one name mattered historically, which is Tarana Burb. She is the one who started #MeToo in 2006.
Exactly what was the matter this wave was fighting for?
Justice versus virality, belief versus evidence.
Women had platforms that institutions couldn't silence.
Platforms profit from pain without any responsibility.
Welcome back to the podcast. Every wave emerges when the previous one stopped working. The first wave confronted the laws. The second wave confronted the society. The third wave confronted identity and culture. The fourth wave began because institutions collapsed, not emotionally but structurally. This time, it moved into platforms, algorithms, visibility, and speed. The fourth wave is not only about feminism online, it is the feminism operating inside the attention economy. I'm Khaja Begum and I'm here with my four friends. Madhya Unisa of grade 10.
Thank you.
Zeba Afreen of grade 10.
Thank you.
Shiza Inam of grade 9.
Thank you.
And Samia Shaheen of grade 9.
Thank you.
So let's dive into the fourth wave. Before we talk about the hashtags like MeToo, digital activism and viral accountability, we need to take a pause for a second and know what kind of world were women living just before the 2012.
Women were told that equality had arrived, but there was a very big reality beneath the surface. You know what? Violence was unreported. Workplace chose their reputation over the victims. And there were a lot of things happening and people were unaware of that. And at the same time, there was platform capitalism. Social media came and became a very big place where women could stand for their own rights. So women weren't empowered at that time. Women were just cornered.
That's powerful. Because on the surface, it looked like progress had already been happening, but the system hadn't really changed. But when do the scholars locate the beginning of the fourth wave?
Most scholars mark 2012 as the starting point, and that's when things started. Like social media became unavoidable, smartphones became universal, and trust in institutions collapsed. This wave didn't begin with theory or leadership. This wave began when visibility became the only remaining defense.
That's interesting because it was technology, trust and visibility, they all collided at the same time. And what was the events that actually ignited this wave?
Not books, not conferences. It was complete and pure shock. We can take a few examples here. The 2012 Delhi Nirbhaya case. You all know about this, right? Yeah, this case exposed the brutality of gender violence and portrayed how the system failed to protect the victims. And then there was Gamergate, which revealed industrial-scale digital misogyny. And the political movements worldwide portrayed that misogyny isn't hidden anymore. It is mobilized. These movements shattered the illusion that progress is always automatic.
So it wasn't manifesto that started this wave. It was shocks. It was the shocks that people can't ignore. And what type of emotional climate did these shocks created?
I think urgency mixed with rage, because women understood that waiting meant that the evidence would disappear and credibility would erode and the silence would collapse. So exposure became a survival, not a strategy.
That's a really great line. Was there a single founder of this wave or was there many?
This wave was crowd-driven, but one name mattered historically, which is Tarana Burb. She is the one who started #MeToo in 2006. The fourth wave wasn't organized, it erupted. People erupted. There were massive protests, marches everywhere around entire globe.
Yeah, this wave wasn't centralized, it was structural. Now, why did #MeToo break through when earlier allegations were ignored?
Because three conditions aligned. Women had platforms that institutions couldn't silence. Audiences recognized patterns, not isolated stories. Collective memory of dismissal already existed. Stories didn't land as accusations but confirmations. This wasn't just about one bad man, it was about the systems designed to protect powerful men repeatedly and successfully.
Can you name the figures that symbolize this reckoning?
There were many, like Harvey Weinstein, MJ Akbar, Bill Cosby. In simple words, I would say that these were the men who were very powerful and they have done a lot of crimes at that time. But their teams, the people have protected them just because they had a good image in public. Just to protect them, just to maintain their dignity, they protected them. So this was a very big thing happening at that time. The institution knew, but they chose to remain silent.
Okay, and what was the matter this wave was fighting for?
Well, the fourth wave targets sexual abuse, assaults, workplace abuse, online threats, stalking, media complicity, basically those kind of things. So survival becomes exposure because formal justice is either unavailable or too dangerous.
Now strip away the hype. What did this wave actually achieve?
I think there were three major achievements. Silence broke. Like people, they started speaking out. They weren't tolerating it anymore. So they started speaking out. And the language that was used to confront these issues changed. So the language changed. Also, the denial became costly. Harassments were now publicly legible. It was unacceptable. Ki this is happening in our society. It was like this. That matters. But visibility arrived faster than justice.
As visibility was faster and speedier, what price did women pay for this visibility?
Women paid with their bodies, reputation, and peace. From my perspective, women were expected to relive trauma publicly, face harassment and disbelief, carry legal risks, and accept permanent digital exposure. Justice was outsourced to survivors, and that was not empowerment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Shaza. You know, earlier waves confronted the state, religious institutions, and moral authorities. But how did power live now in this wave?
In systems without accountability, algorithms decide visibility and platforms decide credibility. States respond historically, but patriarchy decentralized, and decentralization protects the power.
Okay, so patriarchy was decentralized, as you said. Then what contradictions define this wave?
There were several contradictions like justice versus virality, belief versus evidence, speed versus due process, safety versus exposure. So when movements move faster than institutions, individuals absorb the risk.
So with all these contradictions, who was actually benefited from this fourth wave?
There were many people and many organizations, but the platforms, they gained engagement. The brands gained feminist optics. Like the companies, they started using the feminist idea for marketing purposes. And the politicians, they gained narratives. Women gained visibility, but not protection. This was core failure.
I think this fourth wave was more draining than the earlier ones. Why is it like that?
The fourth wave feels more draining than the other waves because it demands constant vigilance. No closure, no institutional endpoints, no enforcement. Outrage never resolves, it only cycles.
Can you all describe what did the fourth wave revealed in one line, in one honest sentence?
Visibility without protection shifts danger onto women.
Platforms profit from pain without any responsibility.
Exposure pressures power but doesn't dismantle it.
Movements can reveal injustice that institutions must resolve.
Yeah, exactly. The fourth wave did not fail. It revealed a system that prefers outrage over reform. Women spoke because silence was unsafe, and platforms listened because outreach was profitable. Institutions watched and waited. Understanding this doesn't weaken feminism, it makes it honest. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Stay tuned for our next episode. Till then, keep questioning, keep thinking. KB here signing off.